town did not properly train volunteer firefighters and did not have proper protocols in place. The companies want the town of West to be designated as a responsible third party in lawsuits filed against the companies. So should the town of West be required to pay part of its own repairs? That's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you as always. You can chime in on our Fox 26 Facebook page or send a tweet. Be sure to use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in the newsroom this morning is our legal analyst, Chris Tritico, former Congressman Chris Bell, an attorney, and public policy analyst Jackie Valley. Good to see you guys.
Good morning.
All right, so what do you think about this? At first I was like, seriously?
That's been my question since I first heard about this. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what the defendants are saying in this case is. We had millions of pounds of fertilizer, ammonium nitrate fertilizer over our permit. It blew up and destroyed your town, but you should have been prepared to take care of that. Chris Bell, attorney, hearing from Mustafa Tamiz today, who's off. I guess you didn't have anything to do at 4:15 this morning. Thank you for coming in. What do you think of this? I mean, I'm stunned that they would say you have to pay our damages because we blew your town up.
Well, it gives great hope to those who want to set their homes on fire and then blame the fire department for not getting there fast enough. As you know, in the law, the whole responsible third party has gotten a little bit out of hand to begin with, but this takes it to a whole new level. And the idea behind these roundup discussions is to give us topics that we can disagree about.
I think we all agree on this one.
I don't know how we're going to disagree about this.
No, we're not going to disagree on this one.
Jackie, I'm offended by this. Quite frankly, I practice law for a living.
And
Chris
you're a
practices law
lawyer.
for- Yes, and I find
It's hard to offend us.
That's right. But I find it completely offensive that this company who blew this town up would say, you didn't prepare your firefighters for this, and even though we killed your firefighters, you have to pay for this.
Well, my response is the same as Sally's. Seriously? I mean, that's absolutely crazy. And how do you really prepare for something like this? First of all, it's a smaller town. They accuse the firefighters of approaching it as like a commercial, instead of a commercial structure, a residential structure. But again, those things did not cause the explosion. The explosion was caused because of they ignored a lot of regulatory practices that they should have been abiding by, and their permit, state and federal. So they need to take responsibility for what happened, not the town.
Let's talk about training for just a minute, though. You know, the town did know that they've got this fertilizer plant there. They do know that these things can blow up. And so should the city or the town have taken some extra measures to ensure the fire department was better prepared?
Well, based on what I've heard, and apparently we're never going to know the truth or all the truth, because the whole lawsuit is shrouded in secrecy and confidentiality. And maybe the city did look the way in certain instances, but it seems like the company went out of its way to make sure people really did know everything that was going on there.
And the secrecy thing is really kind of troubling in that the town is trying to find out exactly what happened in these numerous lawsuits that have been filed over this issue. The lawyers have agreed, both the plaintiff and defendant's lawyers have agreed to confidentiality agreements, and the town can't find out a lot of what's going on.
Yeah, isn't that really convenient for the company? And I think it's very unfortunate for the town because they're now being brought into this lawsuit. They're being accused and saying that you caused this explosion, but yet they can't really get to the facts.
Well, once you sue me, I get to find out everything.
Well,
so we're going to find out then. I want to go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Yeah, everybody is agreeing with everybody today, it seems like.
Right.
Okay, let's take a look.
At the moment.
Right. Let's take a look on Twitter. Ben, one of our loyal viewers every Sunday morning. We appreciate you, Ben. He says West Texas should not be held responsible. The problem was the high amount of ammonium nitrate stored by the plant. We were hoping to show Ben's tweet there, but I don't think we were able to pull it up, so we'll toss it back to you guys.
All right, and that's really where I think the whole issue boils down to, Chris Bell, is that this plant had, as I recall, 10 million pounds over its permit. I may be wrong about that, but
I think it was something like that.
Millions of pounds over the permit level that it had. That blows up. There is no way they're going to hold this town responsible. I don't see it.
No, and obviously everyone wants to try to find a way to shield themselves from liability, and it's certainly a novel approach.
Well, and here's what I think of the issue is, you know, they only had $1 million worth of insurance, and they committed, you know, this explosion, probably $100 million of damage. They have $1 million in insurance. let's see if we can tattoo the town here for some of these damages.
That's part of the problem. What Ben said is part of the problem. Ignoring their permits is part of the problem. And unfortunately, the fact that this town was a smaller town, they didn't have the training that you would for larger fires. But again, how do you ever prepare for something like this? That is part of the problem, but the town should not be held responsible for the actions of this company.
Now, if the legislature wanted to do something actually to help people, that would be something they could look at in the next session, is minimum limits on liability policies for companies that have hazardous material.
Yeah, that's extraordinary, and I had not heard that.
Yeah.
They only had $1 million policy, but that makes no sense whatsoever.
And the legislature ought to do something about that. Hopefully they'll do something in the next session about that. We're going to leave it right there. We'll be back here. I can't talk here in a little bit, and I promise we'll disagree.
Okay, yes. Well, our next topic is Ted Cruz, so you'll definitely be disagreeing, I'm sure. Okay. Thanks, guys. Let's toss it over to Caitlin to get a check of our lovely Sunday forecast.